Hello there, people of the internet. You guys know I'm a military surplus guy, and I love things just like this. This is my bolt action Hugo Mauser 24-47 chambered 8mm Mauser. But boy, oh boy, are there a lot of rumors out there and misnomers and assumptions about all sorts of things whenever we compare rifles like this old school military surplus one to their modern day counterparts, which I do on the channel pretty gosh darn regularly. So if you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because like I said, I do this sort of stuff all the time. So whenever I show off these bolt action rifles and I compare them to their modern self-loading counterparts that most people would be coming across, such as an AR or an AK platform, I get a lot, and I mean a lot, like multiple videos, multiple comments on these multiple videos. People just refuse to read comments because I'll go through and I'll read the same exact comment over and over and over. But there will be people that go into the comments section, and whenever I talk about how much better of an option a self-loading intermediate caliber cartridge firing rifle like an AR platform is going to be above a 5-shot bolt action manually operated system, there will be people in the comments talking about how these right here require you to take one precise shot downrange to make a hit on your target. These right here force you to take your time because you have to be more mindful of your ammunition consumption. And that is absolutely a mindset that we have seen before. As a matter of fact, the United States Military Ordnance Department had it for a very long time. They did not want people using too much ammunition at once. As a result, instead of adopting repeating rifles, we actually adopted the Springfield trapdoor system, which gave you one single shot and then you had to reload. And it was a good way to stop people from wasting ammunition. Even whenever we moved on to repeating rifles, we had a magazine cut-off system specifically put onto the rifle to keep the magazine in reserve, so your rifle was essentially a single shot, all with the ideology of not wanting to waste a bunch of ammunition. And of course that worked out splendidly, and we're still doing that to this day. No, that did not work out at all. People were absolutely slaughtered whenever they had their single shot rifles going up against bolt actions, like say, well, not bolt actions, but repeating rifles. Like say in the Battle of the Little Bighorn, they were absolutely slaughtered because the people with repeating actions were able to put more lead downrange much more effectively than the people who were forced, quote, forced to utilize their ammunition in a way to where they had to take precise shots and they were not able to put down significant amounts of ammunition consumption. The big issue with something like this is that you cannot put down a lot of lead downrange in comparison to something like a modern counterpart. You do not have that option, and so in the situation where you need that option, guess what? You don't have it, so you get to die instead. You get to go hang out with the people in the Little Bighorn who had that same mindset and philosophy, who ended up 6 feet in the dirt. However, if you have something like this right here, which has the capabilities of sending a lot of lead downrange, you don't need to send a lot of lead downrange. That's something that I hear all the time in the comments. People saying that with these rifles, the users waste all the ammo because they send it downrange as fast as possible. And no, that is absolutely not the case. That all depends on the shooter. Like, for example, this rifle here. Let me put on my earmuffs real quick. Let's say, oh, I don't know, we're at about 40 yards or so here. Let's say I had a target down there that I needed to dispatch of. As a matter of fact, I did this 4 days ago where I was dealing with a coyote. I have more than one round inside of this magazine, but guess what? This right here is a semi-automatic only rifle, so if I take aim at my target, and I fire at that target, and I make my hit, guess what? That target's been taken care of, and I only wasted one single round of ammunition. Much like if I were to take my Mauser here, and I had some rounds in the chamber. This is a much slower process. I don't have any stripper clips out here with me. But if I had some ammunition inside of the magazine and a round in the chamber, I could send that one round downrange as well and neutralize that target. Fantastic. But let's say there's a situation where maybe he's got buddies, or maybe they're in cover, or maybe there's something else going on here. Now I need to send more lead downrange as fast as possible. So I'm sending my lead downrange, and lo and behold, my magazine's empty because I only had 5 shots of ammo. And they have self-loading rifles, so in the time it took me to fire those 2 shots downrange, I had 30 sent my way. But if I had something like this right here, and I needed the ability to be able to send more lead downrange, then I had that option. I could send that lead downrange much more quickly and much more effectively than I could with something like this. But if I only needed 1 shot, and I wanted to take that 1 precise shot without wasting ammunition, I can do that. I mean, I can do that with this and this. I can do with this what I can do with this, but I cannot do with this what I can do with this. And that is where that's my main point of contention whenever people tell me that the AR is only used for sending a bunch of lead downrange to take care of a problem. Because it's all about how many times you use your little booger hook to squeeze that trigger and send a round downrange. You don't need to sit there and pull that trigger over and over and over and over, but you have the option to if you need to. I just sent 1 single round downrange at my target. Now, a lot of people will tell me, hey, this right here has significantly more power than something like this. And if power is your concern, then I could understand that. Get yourself an AR-10 or something like that, something with a full power rifle cartridge, or some sort of self-loading rifle. So you have the means to be able to have more ammunition if you want that full power ammunition. You still have more ammunition in your magazine, external magazines for ease of reloading. They can cycle through the system on their own. You don't have to manually cycle it yourself. You get all the benefits of that self-loading rifle without the cons of needing a bolt action system. Now, all of that being said, I'm sure I'm still going to have people go into the comments and tell me, well, this right here is going to be more accurate because it's a bolt action system. Well, guess what? This right here is about a 4 MOA gun. I've taken this out, I've made videos on it, I've shot groups with it, about, on average, depending on the ammo I'm using, about a 4-inch spread at 100 yards. I ran a competition with other gun tubers with this rifle right here. I got a 0.8 MOA group with this thing with 55 grain projectiles, this 1 in 7 twist barrel. At that 100 yard mark, I got 8.8 inches using standard M193 projectiles. Now, all of that being said, yeah, this right here is a fantastic platform. It is absolutely my preference and what it is that I would want. This is significantly more accurate because of its modern design and modern capabilities in comparison to an old Milsurp rifle like this. There are going to be incredibly accurate modern bolt-action rifles as well, but that's kind of an argument for another topic. We're kind of just comparing the bolt-action systems of yesterday with their modern counterparts. But this platform here, or just, you know, insert your choice of self-loading platform, you can get the power from this, you can get the accuracy from this, you can get the capabilities from this, you can get the chance to send a lot of lead downrange very quickly, or 1 single shot, 1 single precise shot of ammunition downrange on your target to dispatch whatever target it is that you need. And yeah, there's a good mindset of this right here being a effective rifle, and it was an effective rifle at one point, and there's a good mindset of it being capable depending on your situation and what it is that you need it to do. And this right here could absolutely do quite a few things, but that does not make it on par with other modern technologies, especially considering the limitations of what it is that you can do with this. And I swear to God, I'm going to copy and paste the URL to this video right here so many times whenever I hear people tell me that this is for accurate, precise shooting and this is just for sending a bunch of lead downrange very, very rapidly. I am going to, oh boy, I'm gonna copy and paste this video so many times. We have seen repeatedly in all of history, whenever people try to focus on ammo conservation in a combat situation, they are put at a significantly diminished, what's the word I'm looking for? Their situation is, rather than their situation, their effectiveness is significantly diminished in comparison to people who are able to utilize more lead downrange in a more timely manner. If we see, single shots going against repeaters, then those repeaters are going to win. If we see repeaters going against self-loading rifles, those self-loading rifles are going to win. If we see just things that are able to more effectively put lead down range if they need to, while still being able to make accurate single-shot fire, which is what a self-loading semi-automatic can do, then those are going to be dramatically superior in comparison to something that is self-loading. Now, I don't care what caliber it is that you pick. I don't care if it's 223, 556, or 7.62 by 39, or a full power rifle cartridge like 308 or 7.62 NATO. Take your pick. I still say firmly, very firmly, that something that is self-loading is going to be a dramatically better option than something that is bolt action if we are talking about going up against a force who has a more modern system, a more modern combat system. Now, if you are just some guy living in the woods with your bolt-action rifle, and the only thing that you have to worry about is the deer and critters that are there, then that bolt-action rifle is going to work fine. That's going to serve you well. Or if your only opposition is, I don't know, some crackhead who also has a bolt-action rifle, then you're going to be having a pretty gosh darn good standing. But the second that guy gets a hold of something like this, especially if he knows how to use it very well and very effectively and very accurately, then your 5-shot bolt-action rifle suddenly becomes a much more significant liability than something that would be, a more modern counterpart, especially by somebody who knows what it is that they're doing with it. So let me know what you guys think below. You guys are always really, really good at commenting. I'm going to, like I said, copy and paste this URL so many times because I hear this sort of comment all the time on my YouTube channel. So all this being said, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Like, subscribe, share. The description below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go check it out. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garrett. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.